Hello, welcome to Web of Stories. My name is Melinda. I am here with my August book haul. Before I get started, if you hear crunching in the background, it's because my son is sitting right across the table eating popcorn. Can't do anything about that. This will probably be the last time for a while that I have all this noise in the background because they're going back to school next week. But anyway, let's get to August. I brought home 14 books in August, which is not horrible. And I've already read 2 of them. So only 12 of them are considered TBR books. But as I said, I don't feel horrible about them because I think I have a plan for most of them. So that's good. The first one I have, I'm not going to talk too much about. I haven't started this yet, but I will be starting it as soon as I finish my next audiobook. And that's Master Slave Husband Wife by Ilyon. This is for the BookTube prize. That's the last one I have to do. I got it off Livres. So as soon as I finish my current audiobook, I'll start that one. And then I have a Kindle single that I got. And if you watched my weekly wrap up, I talked about it there because I did read it. And that is The Bookstore Wedding by Alice Hoffman. This is the second in what she's calling her Once Upon a Time bookstore series. So she started that a few years ago with a book called The Bookstore Sisters. And this is the follow-up to that. And the third, I don't know if it's a trilogy, but the third, which is The Bookstore Keepers, and that's coming out in February of next year. And yes, I've already pre-ordered it. Now let's get on to some physical books. I'll start with my Book of the Month book. And this is Hera by Jennifer Saint. I have Jennifer Saint's Ariadne, which you would have seen in my 5 on Friday last week, as a book that I need to get to read. This is, obviously you can tell this is a Greek mythology retelling. And so obviously this is going on the, I need to read this before my daughter steals it shelf. It's probably lower on the priority list because it's newer, but it's a thing that exists. So I am looking forward to reading it. Here we go. Then I got some, so what happened was in July, bookshop.org does like a summer reading program for adults. And if you read every day in July and log it, because that's so hard for me, you get like a 20% off coupon and you're entered into a prize. I just really care about the coupon. I never win the prize. That's fine. I don't expect to, but I want the 20% coupon. So I have some books here that I got off that. Some of them were on back order, so they're kind of through this pile, but I'm doing this in the order these books came to me. So we'll go back and forth on it. But I did get some essay collections. The first one was The Mother of All Questions by Rebecca Solnit. She wrote, what book was it called? Men Explain Things to Me, which I still need to read. I don't know why I got this one instead, but this one looks good too. I have a friend, one of my oldest friends really likes Rebecca Solnit, so she frequently shares writing from Rebecca Solnit on Facebook, and I've really enjoyed what I've read. So I'm looking forward to this one. And there I have, I don't know if this one is considered an essay. I think this is more of a memoir. And it's translated from the Danish. And it is A Line in the World, A Year on the North Sea Coast by Dorthe Norse. And let me read a little bit of the back of it for you. That's probably going to be the easiest way to do it. Dorthe Norse's first nonfiction book. I didn't even know she wrote fiction, but there you go. Chronicles a year she spent traveling along the North Sea coast, from Skagen in the northern tip of Denmark to the Frisian Islands in the Wadden Sea. This is essays. In 14 essays, Norse traces the history, geography, and culture of the places she visits while reflecting on her childhood and her family. So that's what this is. Let me start. I probably should do this. Greg at Supposedly Fun always does this, so I will read a little bit of it. First line. It's early summer and far beneath me is a coastline. I have it folded out, a map on my desk. It begins to emerge at the northernmost tip of Jutland in Denmark. Yes, that's where it begins, in the North Sea, on a tapering spit of sandy ground. And my son is now ripping a bag out. So that was part of that order, but there's still more to come. Then, earlier this summer, I read a book it was a book of short stories by Kate Atkinson, and I talked about how much I loved it. I hadn't read Kate Atkinson before, and I wanted to read more of her, and I said, I'm going to start with Case Histories because I own it. Just start with what I already have. And everyone says, ooh, you need to read Life After Life. So I think I can probably easily get a used copy at Life After Life. So I stopped by the library. Our Friends of the Library group has a little bookstore in our library. They still do twice a year, their big book sale, but for the rest of the year, they have this little bookstore with a limited selection. So I went there to see if they had Life After Life, and they did not. But they did have Transcription by Kate Atkinson. So I picked this up. I think it's a World War II novel. 1940, 18-year-old Juliet Armstrong is reluctantly recruited into the world of espionage. So let me read a little bit from the beginning here, which is 1981. So we're going to deal with a dual timeline. Miss Armstrong, can you hear me? She could, although she didn't seem able to respond. She was badly damaged, broken. She had been hit by a car. Okay, that's a great way to start. So I don't know when I'm going to get to this one, but it's fine. The next is one of those pre-orders I did a long time ago before I was doing mindful book buying, and it came and I was like, why did I get this? I don't remember why, but it's a short story collection. I'm still excited to read it. So it's this one. It's called Mystery Lights by Lena Valencia. It says, I'm sorry if you can hear the chewing. It's just like, he has his headphones on, so he can't hear the chewing, but we can all hear the chewing. Anyway, an influencer attempts to derail a viral TV marketing campaign with her violent cult following. A marriage between two ghost hunters is threatened when one of them loses her ability to see spirits. The lives of a famous painter in the twilight of her career and a teenage UFO enthusiast converge when a mysterious glowing orb appears in their small desert town. So this is all set in the southwest, which is a place I go frequently. Like, I just booked 2 flights there, 2 different trips. So this kind of sounds like might be good for spooky season. So I might hold it until October and use it as one of my short story collections in October. This next book was a recommendation from Mariandria at Books and Bocadillo. She talked about it on her channel, and I was like, I need to have that book. So this was purchased as part of my prize for summer reading, and it's called Brownsville by Oscar Cásares. Sure. And it's set down on the border town of Brownsville, Texas, which is near where Mariandria lives. So she really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to giving it a try. It might be the next short story collection I read. I haven't decided. I'm almost done with one, and I haven't decided what I'm going to pick up next. It might be this. We'll see. Then I have another essay collection that I got off that order. This is one that was like on back order and came late, but this one looks very intriguing. It's called Animals Strike Curious Poses by Elena Passarello. So it says, beginning with Yucca, a 39,000-year-old mummified woolly mammoth recently found in the Siberian permafrost, each of the 16 essays in Animals Strike Curious Poses investigates a different famous animal named and immortalized by humans. Modeled loosely after medieval bestiary, these witty, playful, whip-smart essays traverse history, myth, science, and more, bringing each beast vibrantly to life. So that sounds it sounds different from what I normally read, and I think an essay collection is a great way to kind of step into that. I'm looking forward to reading this one. This might be my next essay collection. We'll see. The next 2 books were not recommended by, but they are thanks to Mariandria at Books and Bocadillos. She doesn't even know this, so she's hearing it as you hear it. So she's in my marginalized authors book group, and she was talking about a friend of hers who owns a bookstore, and I was like, oh, what's the bookstore? And she told me, and I looked it up online, and when I was there, I saw that they have it's a used bookstore. They have a box service where every month or 2 months they send you 2 used books. You just tell them what genres you're in and a couple other questions, and they choose for you. And if you've already read it, you just let them know, and they'll send you another one, which is all wonderful. And I couldn't resist. I mean, I like the idea of having surprise things come to me. And like book of the month is fun, but it's not really a surprise. Once you see what the books are, you still get to choose. But I really like this. So I joined it. And I will tell you the first 2 books I got from them. The first one is by an author I have read, although I don't know this book. I'd never heard of this book. This one was Velvet Was the Night by Silva Moreno-Garcia. I actually just chose her newest book as an add-on, my happy birthday month free add-on for book of the month. So I'm getting that one. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one about the movie star. This one is comes a riveting slow burn of a noir about a daydreaming secretary, a lonesome enforcer, and the mystery of a missing woman they're both desperate to find. So that sounds very intriguing. I don't know if I would have picked this off the shelf myself, so I'm glad it came to me because now I have a chance to read it. Let's see if I can give you something. Starts June 10th, 1971. He didn't like beating people. So that's how it starts. And then it says Elvis. There's a one of the tags comes around something about like, but I think I already did it. Darn. But one of the things is like blah, 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 or something. It was the booktuber name tag or Elvis. I could have used this book. There you go. So the next book I got from that same order, because you get 2 books, is another one that I had never heard of. And I have never heard of this author. And this is The Auction by Tom Galvin. And this sounded really interesting to me. So in the year 2050, America is booming. But there is a dark side when prosperity is based on the buying and selling of the next generation's future. So, not that much different than now. To the world, Sasha is young, famous, and the symbol of what's wrong with a money-first society. To the big 7 companies that control the fate of America's youth, she's a sure thing, and they all want a piece of her. But Sasha wants to choose her destiny. So that sounds very interesting. This one, I'm probably more likely to pick this one up before this one, only because I will probably end up reading the other Silvia Moreno-Garcia first, because it's coming to me. And I want to put some space between the 2. So this is probably the first of these 2 books I'll pick up. Okay. Oh, I forgot a book already. And I can't believe I forgot this book, because let me tell you, this was an important book. I've already read it. Spirit Crossing by William Ken Krueger, number 20 in the Cork O'Connor series. Got it. Downloaded it at 9 p.m. the night before it was technically released. That is a benefit of living on the West Coast. And I had it read within 24 hours. I enjoyed it. I talked about it in a weekly wrap up. There you go. William Ken Krueger. But William Ken Krueger does come up again. Okay. It comes up again in one of my last 2 books, because that's what I'm down to. So next one, if you saw the little video I did about our trip to the Oregon Garden, you would have seen this book. And this is the Best American Essays of 1988. I pulled it out of the little free library there. You can see that. The reason I did that is I have been contemplating getting these. So I already get the Best American Short Stories and the Best American Mystery and Crime. And I was thinking, should I get the essay one too? But I don't. All the essay collections I've read have somehow been themed together. They're usually the same. So, not usually. They are usually the same author. Sometimes it's a collection, but they're all on the same theme. So this is just, they're all American and they came out in one year, was the tying together theme. And I didn't know how that was going to work. So I didn't want to spend money on it. But when I had the opportunity to pick this up, it's not in the best condition. When I picked this up, basically for free, I jumped at it because this is a way to see if this is something that's going to work for me. Now, we're down to our last book. It is not a William Kent Krueger book, but it is because of William Kent Krueger. In Spirit Crossing, he talks about his daughter likes a poet named Ted Kooser. And I was like, is that a real poet? So I looked him up, and he is. And I am actually currently reading one of his collections that I've downloaded from the library called Cotton Candy. And I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot of like describing the world around you, kind of. A little bit like Mary Oliver. And I'm really enjoying it. So I finished, sort of. I'm listening to less. My daughter wanted to go get, story time. My daughter's favorite series is the Amari series. So Amari and the Night Brothers and all that. The 3rd book, she asked me last Sunday, hey Mom, when's the 3rd book coming out? And I'm like, I don't know. And I didn't think it was anytime soon because nobody has been talking about it. Like everyone talked about the 1st book and even the 2nd book when it came out, but no one talked about the 3rd book. So I looked it up and it was coming out the next Tuesday. So I said, okay, I'll take you. I said, I can order it or we can just go to Powell's. And she said, well, let's just go to Powell's. We didn't go on Tuesday. We went on Thursday. Is that when we went? Yeah, we went on Thursday, yesterday as I'm filming this. And I had my, I don't have it here, the thing, my Powell's Summer Bingo. It was all filled out. Well, one I finished that night, so I felt okay doing that one. But there's one, a friend's favorite book. I am halfway through the audiobook. So I lied and I said I'd finished it. But I am going to finish it. I wouldn't have finished it in time. I just, you know, I had to do it. It's Light from Uncommon Stars by Raika Aoki. So I put that on there, even though I'm halfway through it. But anyway, I did that. So I got Blackout, and I got my 2 entries into whatever the drawing is. And I got a $5 gift certificate to use on my next purchase. Now, I could have just used it on my daughter's book, but no, that was for me. I'm the one that read all those books. So I went to the poetry section and to see if they had any Ted Kooser. And they did. They had one Ted Kooser book, and it is this one, Winter Morning Walks, 100 postcards to, what? 100 postcards to Jim Harrison. I'm sure there's a story about that. I don't know. I just picked it up. It is a used copy, but it is autographed. So the thing about this is it is dated. Like, this starts in like November 9th. It basically goes to March 20th. So I will be reading this, but I'm going to be reading it along with the dates. So I will start this on, here we go. Wait a second. I don't know. That didn't tell about the postcards. I'll be starting it on November 9th. So, and the poems are not long. It looks like they all could fit on a postcard. So, yes, I'm excited to read this. I am, as I said, currently reading another collection of his, which I'm really enjoying. So yeah, maybe next Poetry Month I can share some Ted Kooser with you all. I am looking for more of his collections. I would have purchased more at Powell's if they had some, but poetry is not a, you know, it's not a mover in the retail space. So what's there is what's there. So I think if I'm going to have to, if I'm going to get more of his collection, I'm going to have to order from bookshop.org. And I may order, once I finish, I may order a copy of Cotton Candy, because I am really enjoying the poems on there and I'd like to share them. So anyway, that's my book haul for August. As I said, I brought in 14 titles. I've read 2, so I only have 12 going forward on onto my TBR. And I've read more than 12 of my own books. I can tell you right now, when I do my wrap up, I'm negative again, so that's good. Anyway, we'll see what August brings. I do have, let me tell you if you have any pre-orders coming in September. And I do have one, but it's coming from the UK. It is The Examiner by Janice Hallett. I could have gotten this through the US. It was cheaper to get it from Blackwell's. So I should have that in about a week, but it was released Tuesday. And it is released in the US apparently. So this is, I think this is the first time that her book has been released simultaneously in the UK and the US. I only have one other pre-order coming in September, and that's When We Flew Away by Alice Hoffman. I love Alice Hoffman. This is her new book. It has something to do with Anne Frank. That's all I know about it. Alice Hoffman, Louise Penny, Louise Erdrich, William Kent Krueger. They have a new book. I order it. I don't care what it's about. I mean, Louise Penny, you know it's going to be part of her Gamache series, but I don't even look up the. I'm just like, boop, order, pre-order as soon as I see it. So anyway, I only have one pre-order coming. As I said, I am getting 2 books from Book of the Month only because it's my birthday month, and I get my like birthday add-on freebie. So we'll see what my haul is in September. But anyway, thank you very much. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.